Everyone in the courtroom believed he was begging. His shoulders were lowered. His voice was calm. His hands were empty. The woman across from him smiled, slow, satisfied, already tasting victory. She thought this was the moment he broke. She didn't know the judge hadn't read the numbers yet. The High Court of Bamako rose from the dust like a monument to endings. Outside, the air shimmered with heat and impatience. Vendors shouted. Motorbikes coughed smoke. Lawyers adjusted robes damp with sweat. Inside Courtroom 3, the air was colder, conditioned, controlled, merciless. This was where marriages ended quietly. This was where men lost everything loudly. And this morning, Aïssata Traoré was expected to lose. He stood alone at the respondent's table, dressed in a plain grey kaftan. No gold watch. No designer shoes. No sign of wealth. Across from him sat Aïssata Traoré, his wife of 11 years, draped in silk, diamonds catching the fluorescent lights. Her lawyer leaned close, whispering confidence into her ear. Aïssata smiled. She had already won this case in her head. Once, Bamako had whispered their names with envy. Amadou and Aïssata. The quiet engineer and the woman with ambition like fire. Amadou had built his life slowly, contracts, logistics, infrastructure consulting for mining firms moving through Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger. He never spoke about money. He never boasted. Aïssata mistook silence for weakness. When the contract slowed during political unrest, she began counting what she didn't see. No new cars. No flashy trips. No visible upgrades. You're stagnating, she told him one night, standing in their marble kitchen. Men my age are expanding. You're shrinking. Amadou didn't argue. He never did. That silence would later be called begging. The first betrayal wasn't the affair. It was the laughter. When Amadou suggested downsizing expenses, Aïssata laughed. When he asked for patience, she laughed louder. When he proposed mediation, she laughed in front of her friends. Then came the lawyer. Then came the filing. Then came the sentence she delivered like a verdict. I'm not wasting my life waiting for a man who failed. The divorce papers arrived the same week his largest deal closed. He didn't tell her. The judge adjusted his glasses. The clerk called the case. Aïssata crossed her legs slowly, deliberately, making sure Amadou saw her confidence. Her lawyer stood. Your Honor, he began, this is a clear case of financial neglect. My client supported this household while the respondent contributed little to no verifiable assets. Aïssata nodded sympathetically, as if she were the victim of a long disappointment. They presented bank statements. Empty accounts. Dormant balances. Nothing impressive. Whispers moved through the courtroom. Amadou looked down. To them, it looked like shame. When it was Amadou's turn to speak, he didn't stand immediately. He inhaled. Then calmly said, I am not contesting the divorce. Aïssata's smile widened. I only ask, he continued, that the court take its time before deciding division. Her lawyer scoffed. Your Honor, the respondent has nothing to divide. Laughter, quiet but cruel, fluttered across the room. Aïssata leaned back, arms crossed. Begging, she thought. He's finally begging. The judge raised one hand. Mr. Traoré, he said slowly, you are unusually calm for a man facing total asset forfeiture. Amadou looked up for the first time. I trust numbers, he replied. They speak when people finish talking. The courtroom fell silent. The judge turned to the clerk. Read the financial disclosures submitted this morning. Aïssata's smile faltered, just slightly. Her lawyer leaned forward. What disclosures? He asked. The clerk opened a thick file. Stamped. Certified. Dated today. Amadou folded his hands. The numbers were about to speak. Aïssata still believed he was begging. She didn't know the courtroom was about to learn the difference between silence and poverty. The judge cleared his throat and began to read. The clerk's voice was steady. Almost too steady for what he was about to read. Respondent Aïssata Traoré, he began, declares ownership interest in multiple infrastructure and logistics contracts operating across Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Aïssata's lawyer froze. The judge looked up. Continue. The clerk swallowed. With cumulative contract valuations totaling CFA 412 billion over a 7-year period. The courtroom exhaled as one body. Someone whispered, "That's not possible." Aïssata laughed once, sharp, nervous. "That must be projected value," she said aloud. "Not actual holdings." The judge didn't look at her. Read the next line. Net realized profit to date, CFA 96.4 billion. A chair scraped the floor. Aïssata's smile collapsed into confusion. Her lawyer stood abruptly. "Your Honor, these documents were never disclosed during discovery." Aïssata spoke quietly. "They were disclosed," he said. "Just not to her." The judge raised an eyebrow. "Explain." Aïssata stood now. Not to beg. Not to plead. But to clarify a misunderstanding that had lived for 11 years. "I never hid money," he said calmly. "I hid structure." He turned slightly, addressing the room, not her. "My contracts were signed under holding entities. Not to deceive my wife, but to protect operations in politically unstable regions." A murmur rippled through the courtroom. "Every asset," he continued, "was legally declared to the state. Taxed. Audited. Recorded." He looked at Aïssata for the first time. "I simply did not perform wealth." Aïssata felt the floor tilt. Her mind raced backward, every argument, every insult, every laugh. "You're shrinking. You failed. I carried this marriage." She remembered the nights he came home late, dusty, quiet. She thought he was losing. He was building. Her lawyer leaned toward her, whispering urgently, "This changes everything." Her voice shook. So I get half." The judge finally looked at her. "No, madam." He turned to Aïssata. "Mr. Traoré," he asked slowly, "when were these assets acquired?" Aïssata answered without hesitation. "Primarily before and during the early years of marriage. But all holdings are tied to corporations in which my wife has never held shares, nor participated in operations." The judge nodded. Then asked the question that cracked the room open. "And did the petitioner contribute financially or operationally to these ventures?" Aïssata didn't answer. He didn't need to. The clerk did. Records show no financial contribution, no advisory role, and no spousal claim filed during acquisition periods. The courtroom understood. Aïssata had married the man, not the empire. The judge adjusted his robe. "This court recognizes the dissolution of marriage," he said, voice firm. "However, claims to respondents' corporate assets are denied." Aïssata's breath hitched. "The petitioner is awarded spousal settlement limited to jointly held domestic property and personal accounts disclosed during marriage. Pause. Which totals CFA 47 million. Her world shrank to a number smaller than one of her bracelets. She stood abruptly. "That's impossible. I sacrificed everything for him." The judge didn't raise his voice. "Madam," he said, "sacrifice is not entitlement. And silence is not absence." Aïssata sank back into her chair. Her lawyer said nothing now. Around her, the room buzzed, not with laughter, but awe. Aïssata gathered his documents quietly. No victory speech. No revenge smile. As he turned to leave, Aïssata whispered, "You let me believe you were nothing." He paused. "No," he said gently. "You decided that." Outside the courthouse, the sun dipped low over Bamako, painting the city gold. Reporters gathered. Cameras flashed. But Aïssata walked past them all. He had never wanted recognition. He wanted accuracy. Weeks later, Aïssata moved into a smaller apartment. Friends stopped calling. The laughter faded. She replayed the courtroom in her head, not the numbers, but the moment she realized her greatest mistake wasn't betrayal. It was underestimating silence. Amadou stood on a construction site outside the city, new bridges rising, still humming with purpose. A colleague asked him, "Why didn't you tell her?" Amadou watched the workers move in rhythm. "Because," he said, "people who measure worth by noise never hear what matters." She thought he was begging. But begging is loud. What she heard was patience. What she mistook for weakness was calculation. And when the judge read the numbers, the truth became unavoidable. Silence doesn't mean empty. It means waiting. Some victories are allowed.